Hi everyone, I'm Marcy, and today I'm getting in the fall spirit and making a pumpkin flan. What can I say? I went to a pumpkin patch over the weekend and I was inspired. But I think you're really going to like this recipe because it's so much easier to make than you might think, and it's rich and creamy and just gives you all the fall feels. Before I go over the ingredients, let me share some of the video I took from the pumpkin patch to sort of get you in the mood. This was my first time visiting the Mesilla Valley Maze in Las Cruces, and I was surprised by how big it was.
Look at this pumpkin!
They have a 5-acre corn maze where you have to navigate your way through and hope you don't make too many wrong turns and get lost. They have all sorts of activities for the kids, and then best of all, you take a hayride to a giant pumpkin patch where you get to pick your own pumpkin, and it's huge, seriously huge. Apparently they grow up to 100,000 pumpkins a year, so that should tell you something. I was there as the sun was starting to go down and it looked almost golden, making the scenery just magical. Now I did make my own pumpkin puree from the pumpkin that I got at the pumpkin patch, but you don't have to do that. You can just use canned. But if you are interested in making your own, it is really simple, and I can include a link for you from a video that I did in the past on how to make your own homemade pumpkin puree. You really don't need a whole lot for this recipe, and I'll tell you just how much in a bit, but let's go ahead and go over what you do need. You'll need 1 cup of sugar to start for the caramel that is typical in a flan. Then you're gonna need 1 15-ounce can of evaporated milk, 1 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk, 5 large eggs. Now I know that is a lot, but that's what makes it so creamy and smooth, and it also helps your flan to gel. You'll need 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, only half a cup of pumpkin puree, half a block of Philadelphia cream cheese, which is 4 ounces, I believe, and then just a couple dashes of cinnamon. So let's go ahead and get started. First, preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Then pour the sugar in a small skillet and place it on the stovetop over medium heat and just stir continuously until it melts and caramelizes. This should take about 7 minutes, and you stir the entire time, making sure it doesn't burn. As soon as it turns amber in color, remove it from the stove and transfer it into your flan mold. Depending on what you use, it could get hot quickly, so you may need pot holders. I'm using an 8-inch round cake pan, and I'm just moving it around to get it fully covered along the bottom and sides. Then I set it aside for now. Then into a blender or mixing bowl, add in all the other ingredients. I start with the evaporated milk, followed by the sweetened condensed milk. And then I crack in the eggs. Next, I measure out 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. and I add in the pumpkin puree and the softened cream cheese. And finally, I just sprinkle in some cinnamon. If you have pumpkin spice, you can also use that. And you just mix until smooth. I'm using an electric hand mixer, and as I'm doing this, I'm realizing the cream cheese wasn't quite softened enough, but not to worry because the next step will take care of that. Take your flan mold and place it into a larger baking dish that's at least a couple of inches deep, and pour the flan mixture into the mold, passing it first through a fine mesh colander. This will catch any bits of the cream cheese that didn't break up, and it ensures that the flan will be fully smooth. Next, cover the flan with aluminum foil and fill the outer pan halfway up with hot water. Then place it in the oven to bake for 1 hour and 20 minutes. And you know it's ready when the caramel starts to come up from the sides. But what I'm going to do is now take it out of this pan and just place it on a rack, and I'm going to let it cool until it comes to room temperature, and then once it does that, I'll place it in the refrigerator to chill for a minimum of 5 hours. And better yet, if you make it late in the day, you want it to chill overnight. That way it sets nicely. But since I'm making this in the morning, we're going to be able to enjoy this later this evening. And now the moment of truth. I just pulled this flan out of the refrigerator, and I'm going to use a knife and just run it along the sides to release it from the pan. And then I am going to carefully invert it onto my plate, or you can use a platter, whatever you have. Just hope that it works, because it would be terrible if the one time that we're shooting a video on this, it doesn't work. And here we go. Ready? It sounded like it worked anyway. Carefully release. And there it is. Isn't that gorgeous? All right, now I'm going to cut myself a slice. I may actually save a little of this caramel to pour over it. And I just whipped up a quick batch of whipping cream. I've shared the recipe for that before, but if you're interested, I'll put that in the description box. Meantime, let me just slice this up and put it on my plate. That. Beautiful. Put a little whipped cream. And now we taste. Oh my gosh, it's so, so good. It is super creamy. It just melts in your mouth. It's rich, and it has a hint, more than a hint, of that pumpkin flavor in there, which makes it perfect for this time of year. This would even be great for Thanksgiving. I hope that you try this recipe, and I hope that you love it. Thanks so much for checking out this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I also invite you to follow me at Marcy Inspired on Instagram and Facebook. Until next time, harvest blessings from my kitchen to yours.